good evening. This is Brother Benson Media, and we are coming again for the second time. And for this particular time, we want to have a discussion on what happened to George Natembeya, and we'll be giving our views on the same. Before we proceed, allow me to invite Miguda. Miguda, you can say hi. And maybe before you come in, allow me to take this opportunity to also welcome our viewers and to remind them that they feel free. This is Brother Benson Media, and here we say that your opinion counts, so long as it is an opinion that is not going against um, the rights of others. So, Miguda, I'll give you a chance to say hi.
Hello, how are you? Good evening from my side also. I would like also to invite the people who are going to come to join and also to share their thoughts on the comment section.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Miguda. I want us to have a discussion. The political tension rise as, of course, Gachagua's arrest threat is there, and also Natembeya also went through the same. And this is a conversation. It could be that they were aware of this, and I'll start with that. If you remember yesterday, the former deputy president was in Gatanga, and he spoke about this issue of Natembeya, and he said that they have some intelligence that the government, the EACC will be raiding Natembeya's office, and the former deputy president as well, Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka, also talked about the same, that they had information of what has been planned, and it truly happened today. And so I wanted to play this clip here, and then I wanted to play this clip where
ati wewe unataka kushika Rigathi Gachagua. Itawezekana? Itawezekana? Mnasema wajaribu? Hata saa hii tumepata habari ile gavana ya Trans Nzoia anaitwa George Natembeya ati wanataka kushika yeye. Mimi hata sisi tutafuka barabara tusimamishe hii Kenya. Tumekubaliana. Unajua huyu Kasongo ametuchukua ufala. Alinifukuza kazi mkanyamaza kweli? Kati huo. Gemona mtikarehena mwana kana moine naguo. Leo atakuwa wana. Wewe William Ruto hapana sumbua George Natembeya. Si ndio? Unajua yeye.
Okay, Mr. Migura, I think you've seen the clip. That was the former deputy president, Honorable Rigathi Gachagua. He spoke about this arrest, and truly it happened. Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka also spoke about the same. And so that brings me to the questions for today. Of course, we understand that this is a conversation which started yesterday, led by the opposition leaders, that is Honorable Rigathi Gachagua and Kalonzo Musyoka. And I will ask you, EACC, when they are supposed to do a raid, do they just wake up and do it without notifying the people? For example, in this case, did they just wake up and then, they planned to raid the office of the governor without informing the governor? Is it just, a raid that people just wake up and then they do it, or there is always, a notification that is sent to the specific people? You can give us your take on that. And then something else that the people of Kenya also asking is, the governor was arrested. There is always an option of summoning the governor. And my question to you is, what was so tough for the EACC to just summon the governor so that he appears to give his view of what he knows about the accusations, which are being talked about? What is the difference? Was that a summon that was issued to him and he was responding, or it was an arrest? Because from what we are seeing, even on social media and other platforms, he was arrested. And normally, this is a case that involves the county government, Mr. Miguda, and he is the CEO of that county. My question to you is, why is it that they were not able to just summon him or ask him to report to the DCI and give a clarity on the same issue? Do you think he would have refused? Or, or what is the challenge? Why is it that now they have to leave and go to his office or to his home? Because from where I see it this way. If they would have summoned the governor, even the chaos and the vandalism that we've seen, we would not have, witnessed. What is your take? What does the constitution say about, this arrest and summons that you're seeing politicians being taken through? And then I'll come back to you with some other questions.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can proceed.
I've lost you, Makubu. Okay. I was saying you talked about EACC raiding someone's home. I don't think someone's home should be raided at the first place, because there is no indication whereby someone should be raided. Why should you raid someone's home? The George Natembeya is the governor of Trans Nzoia and is a public officer. Is someone who's a public figure. If there were any corruption allegations that has been investigated, and now the EACC want to charge the said person, they can simply summon that person so that he can go and record a statement. But why do you raid someone who is available 24/7? I don't think it should be that way. They ought to have summoned the governor to go and record a statement concerning the allegations by the person who alleged that 1.4 billion was misappropriated in the county government of Trans Nzoia. I think that's the way it should go. But you also heard Natembeya said it. He saw it coming. Said that the people from Nairobi, they want to come here and do some stuffs like warrant of search. And when he prophesied, whatever he prophesied came to pass. And after that, I now believe that he was privy to the intels. And I agree that the intels of governor is very reliable, because exactly as he predicted it, it has actually unfolded. That one can be a very significant that the people whom are being witch hunt politically are having their insiders within the government. And finally, I just like to say that it's a matter of, I think Natembeya has been vocal, and whether he has been vocal trying to enlighten the people of Western Kenya and the Kenyan people at large. So he has been a threat to the status quo, and therefore status quo currently the easiest way to deal with you is to apply the criminal justice system. Even if we have said that we don't support corruption, we are opposed to corruption, and if that was corruption by Governor Natembeya, we want them to carry out that case expeditiously and give us the findings. But if that is not the case, then they should stop applying criminal justice system to sort out political competition. Because if you talked about the issue of the governor, maybe sometimes he was corrupt, if at all he committed those allegations, it could be useful for the EACC to carry out their role professional, and there is no outline that you must send police officers, the DCI officers armed to the teeth to invade someone's house or compound, property. You can even destroy someone's door or windows or bed or chairs. That is infringing someone's right to privacy, and it's more of a trespass to someone's compound. That's why I still believe that two things. One, the governor saw it coming, and after even he has actually sorted it out to the people, instead of the government abandoning their mission, they went ahead and executed it, making them to look bad, not good anyway. So Natembeya, I think at the end of the day, between the people or ESCC or the allegations and the person in Natembeya has emerged victorious against the allegations.
Okay, thank you so much for that view. Let me acknowledge the presence of Brenda Obedi at the comment section. Thank you so much, Brenda, for finding time to join us. Gypsy Corner, thank you so much for also coming to be with us this evening. Victor Opio, thank you so much. You're watching us from another our channel, Facebook channel. Thank you, platform. I mean, thank you so much. Allow me to also say a big thank you to Ani. Asante sana kwa kukuja kukuwa na sisi tena, tunashukuru. Mr. Miguda, vehicles were vandalized in this process, and several vehicles were seriously vandalized. And this tells you that the number of officers who had visited Natembeya's home, there were not very many, and so they were overpowered by the protesters. These are young people who are, they were not happy with the EACC going to governor's home, and for that reason, they came out to, just criticize that. While that was happening, we saw them, protesting, and they ended up, vandalizing so many vehicles. And my question to you is, of course, the vehicles, I'm quite sure that those are vehicles which are bought by, the taxes of the people of Kenya. Was that negligence in the sense that because they knew this is someone who's a politician and he has supporters, why were they coming with few police officers? Why were they not, many, so that they would defend, for example, themselves and also the vehicles? Because there is, I saw, there's a, I saw, I'm not so sure, I've forgotten. I saw a politician wrote in on their platform, social media platform, saying that Governor Natembeya should actually pay for the uh, you know the repair of those vehicles and everything that was damaged by his supporters. And my question to you, of course, you will give us your take on that. Is there anywhere on law where such thing can happen just because the protesters broke, those vehicles? Now it is Natembeya we're supposed to pay. And then the question that I was asking you is this issue of the EACC officers going to, Natembeya's place, and there were not very many, and so they were overpowered by the protesters. My question to you is, was this something that they would have avoided? And then something else that, I want you to give your take on is, do you think the police officers were aware of what was going to happen in this particular place? Because just like I've said, Natembeya is a politician, and for that matter, he has so many supporters. Why is it that there were no police officers to, do the protection of the vehicles and the EACC officers who are doing the raid? Why is it that, you know, as the youths were actually breaking the vehicle, there are some police officers who are just standing by and doing nothing? Do you think the police officers were aware of this raid? And were they there to support, to help the officers to finish up what they were doing? Or could it be that they are also not really in support of what is going on? Maybe your take, Mr. Miguda.
The police officer, because Natembeya was privy to the information, the police officer ought to have abandoned the mission and come back later. But they decided to operationalize whatever they have already planned, which has led them to that mess. You have asked me about the issue of negligence. And when you are dealing with negligence, there are three rules that you must apply. Negligence itself is the duty. You have the duty of care. Then number two, the breach of that duty of care. Then lastly, liability. So I don't think the governor had any duty to ensure that the vehicles are not vandalized. The governor did not breach any duty because he was not there in person. The governor is not liable for any damages that has been caused to the police. Actually, it is the police who should bear the responsibility. That's why when we go to demonstrations and when police vehicles are torched down, the roads are barricaded. Usually, there is no civilian who is being arrested and charged with vandalizing any public property. They usually being charged of maybe protesting and they were released. Because at that time, it was a mob. You cannot determine it is person Z, person Y, person X who has committed such crimes. You cannot take people one by one that they vandalized the police vehicles. It was a mob. People came out, and the governor was also elsewhere. The famous alibi. So you cannot charge him with the crimes where he was not present in that jurisdiction. He was somewhere in Nairobi, so he was elsewhere. That is why there was no negligence in the part of the governor. There was no breach of it. There is not liable, and also the people had got absolute no negligence, no duty of care. Neither do the people breach that duty of care, nor the people are liable. That was a crowd, and they came out to defend what they were already they were briefed by the governor that there are some intel which are reliable we are receiving. Actually, they are coming for me. So people are alert that we want to meet them head on. And the police officer never expected to receive such reception, but that's how it will happen because people are tired, and anybody who is trying to further the angle of the people are going to deal with that person circumponiously without no mercy. But the police officers also should be somehow professional, the way you have said. Even if you are getting instruction from certain quarters, we have always advised the police officers. We love them. They are our brothers. Some of our cousins, relatives, maybe family are in police sector. Therefore, they should be professional. They should act on lawful orders. They should not act on unlawful orders. They should question some orders, even though they're not supposed to question. But if you question, they are going to maybe think that you are mad. But that's not the case. You should just decline to act on unlawful orders. And whenever you have some charges prosecuted against you, you can say that okay, me I cannot take unlawful order because I believe they saw into act on lawful orders, and they should not be used like we have said. If you allow yourself to be used by politicians, after they have used you, they are going to abuse you and they are going to misuse you. So it's high time you realize that you are a state officer and your duty is outlined very well in the constitution. You have a duty to maintain law and order. You have a duty to protect the rights of the people. You are a duty bearer, and the citizens are the right holders. So, as a duty bearer, you must ensure that there is maintenance of law and order. You must ensure that people are living in peace. You must ensure that you don't act on unlawful orders because of the people who are enforcing those laws. I think it is again. I want to just blame politicians. Even if we try to blame them, some people are coming to defend them. They are misusing our police officers. And the more you misuse the police officers, the more you create anger between the public and the police officers. There should be that good relationship between the people and the police. Because the people who are protecting us internally, we are dealing with them internally. Most of the time we spend with them. So we should have a good relationship because we need their effort to offer security to us, and they should not engage into political contest. Let politicians do their politics. Let EACC do its role and not involve the men in uniform. Let us distinct understand the different roles. So, Makubura, if there is anything you are talking about negligence, I think that is now the responsibility of the police officers. But the public and the governor are are totally out of the context.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Miguda. To our viewers, this is Brother Benson Media, and here we say that your opinion counts. If you are watching us for the first time, kindly like and subscribe to the channel, because if you do so, it is a way of supporting us, and we'll really appreciate. Allow me to acknowledge the presence of Troll37. You've asked for the link. I've shared the link at the comment section. If you are watching us and maybe you also want to give your view, I've shared a link, the comment section. You can just click the link and it will direct you to the studio. Mr. Miguda, the allegation of irregular procurement and fictitious payments of Kenya shillings 1.4 billion by senior Trans Nzoia County government officials, of course, led by the governor and some CCs. And this is the letter that was sent by the EACC. Today, Monday, 19th May 2025, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, upon obtaining such warrant, conducted searches at the residence of and offices of Governor George Natembeya, and 4 others in relation to alleged irregular procurement and fictitious payment of 1.4 billion by the county government of Trans Nzoia during the financial year 2022-2023 and 2024-2025. The search operation is part of a wider investigation into allegations of procurement irregularities, abuse of office, bribery, fraudulent accusation of funds, and and the letter goes on. And the investigation focuses on three major projects awarded by the county government. One, the rehabilitation and modernization of Kenyatta Stadium, Phase 1A, awarded to that person. And then number two is construction of Trans Nzoia County Headquarters Office. Number three is the construction of Tom Mboya Hospital. And when we watched, I'm quite sure you've watched, and the mentioned three projects, they are actually currently ongoing. And when the people of Trans Nzoia were asked about these projects, they're saying that the projects are really ongoing, and they are being done well. According to them, there is nothing suspicious in those projects because the projects are ongoing, and they're saying that they're being done with the maximum, with maximum care. And so my question to you is, what is your take on this? The accusation of 1.4 billion. I know it is a matter that is still on court, so you'll just briefly give what you understand with it. And these are projects which are ongoing, they're not yet completed. How comes these are the basis of this arrest? That's number one. Number two, why does this arrest looks like it's not like a normal arrest that we've been seeing in the Republic of Kenya? Is it a politically motivated arrest? So you can, yeah, so you can give us your take on that. And then Mr. Miguda, something else that I also want you to give your take on is, if it is politically motivated, then for whose benefit? Allow me to take this opportunity to welcome Trio 37, and maybe I give him time first, Mr. Miguda, to also let him give us his take on what he thinks about the whole thing which is happening now in Trans Nzoia and in Kenya. Yes, Trio, you can give us your take.
It's true 37.
True. It's truth at 7. Very well.
Yes.
That is noted with a lot of thanks. You can proceed.
Yeah, so I'm a little late. I didn't hear the beginning, what the other brother said. I caught the pretty much the end of it. And also I'm getting some feedback. I don't know if you're getting it. Okay, yeah, I don't
Like
know
an
why.
echo
Yeah, it's like repeating to myself. It's
on our side. I think you've
yeah.
there's another device that is yeah. So I think you should mute the other device so that you don't get the echo.
No, mine is close, so it's coming through this. It's coming through I don't know. But anyhow, um what I think is that I don't know why it's taking us so long to learn a lesson. I mean, we pretty much are even in the process of learning a lesson. And sometimes when I'm online and I'm going through stuff, I'm looking at reactions, that people have towards these politicians. Number one, an issue that I saw and I continue to still see is that there's always poor people fighting for rich politicians. When people like Natembeya, they get in issues like what he's currently in now, he has the money, he has all the resources. They have state resources that they're gonna use regardless, our own taxpayer money. And then on top of that, we're still going out to, fight for them, to defend them and stuff like that. And we're the ones that end up losing in the end. Some of us die, some of us get arrested, some of us get hurt by the police because, people want to go to, mano a mano for these guys. And that's the biggest issue that I have. Number two is we keep repeating the same mistakes. A few times I've had this conversation with other people, and what I usually say is that it's got to a point that I don't really care for people anymore. I don't care what's going on, on the ground, because it's people that chose, the situation that they're currently in. With Ruto, many of us saw this coming from 100 miles away, that how this thing was going to turn out. And I said to myself that if Kenyans vote for this guy and allow this guy to lead this, mislead this country, then what else can they expect? You can't expect, a thief to, like watch your property or money or something like that. You know that it's in their nature to steal. The same way how even on this other side, we have this stuff going on with Trump and Latinos and whatnot. They thought that it was sweet that, oh, they're just gonna vote and they won't look at them as colored people or outsiders. And now they're crying that why did this happen to us? But you guys voted 68% for this guy. Now when he's kicking you guys out the country, you're crying. Why are you crying? Even Kenyans, nobody should be crying. We should be waiting until 2027 unless they want to act. Now, when they act, that's a different thing. And that I do like. And that should be our attitude. But I'm still seeing way too many Kenyans still focus on, still with their tribal views. That now this guy shouldn't lead, this guy should, like, it's just crazy the kind of stuff that I see online. And I think that somehow not enough of us have learned yet. If you ask me, all of them should go. Riley should go home. All these other, idiots that do their footwork, like Natembeya, all of them need to go. We need to just start fresh. And I was talking to somebody, and I mentioned that, someone like, Morara Kebaso should lead the country. And the amount of things that I heard that, oh, that guy is too young. What experience does it have, and all this? And I said, okay, with all the experience and all this, old heads that we have running around the place, what good is going on? So anyhow, that's what I think. You guys can go on a little bit, and maybe I can give a bit more reaction.
Okay, maybe before I bring in Migoda, from where you sit, my brother, what is your take on the state of the nation and going forward? The people of Kenya are having problems, just like you've mentioned, and part of the problems that we are facing as a people is what we created. We had options, maybe, and we never gave that option to someone else. My question to you is, we are going to 2027, and of course, in 2027, we'll have an election, and you only elect people who have presented themselves for the election. My question to you is, among the people that have currently presented themselves and have come out to say that they're interested in this particular seat, who do you think has the capability of delivering us, the people of Kenya, from the problems that are already with us? Your take?
I think it has to be somebody new, somebody fresh. We need some fresh blood. Like Morara Cabasso, I think he's a perfect. I think he'd be the perfect candidate. Number one, even all these guys that show these good faces, like Kalonzo, and all this other guy, Gachagua, any of them, even when they look good to us, some of them, we all have different opinions on who's good, who's not very good, but it's all right, and who's very bad. But in my view, they're all corrupted because they're all attached to the same system. Our issue is systematic, and anybody that is attached to that system needs to go. Otherwise, all they're doing is just rotating themselves in the system. So I think that it needs to be somebody that is fresh. And one thing I did like when I was the other day, I saw that Morocco Basso, they had the, what is it called, the not too young to lead, and they're encouraging young people to present themselves. So I can't give too many names, but him, because he's at the forefront of it. But yeah, people like himself, there are other people, and even guys like, even what's the other guy's name? McCory. Yeah, Samuel McCory. I mean, he had a bit of a rough start. He's trying to figure himself out, but I think he's good. I'd rather go with him than most of these other people. I'm even hesitant when it comes to people like Babu Owino and them. I just don't know, but because they've been attached to the same system. So what we need is a major overhaul. When you do an overhaul, you get rid of all the internal parts. And that means all these people that have been attached to it. Because what they do is they just try to, catch a nice wave to ride it, saying that, oh, I did this, but I just don't see it.
Okay, thank you so much. I'll come back to you. Miguda, you were saying some. I'd asked you a question about whether the arrests that you are seeing in Kenya, they are politically motivated, and what are the end game? Because from where I see it, I'm seeing, for example, if I give you an example of what happened today, the arrest of Governor Natembeya, you know, the people of Kenya are speaking about it in social media, and we saw quite a number of leaders from the Western region coming out to criticize that arrest. And remember, what we've been seeing in the Republic of Kenya is whenever a leader is arrested or accused of having done something, and they are on the limelights on social media, they become popular. And we've seen so many instances where these are the people that, finally are being elected by the people of Kenya. So my question to you is, Miguda, this arrest, has it really benefited, uh, you know, the people who came up with it? Or is it a positive or an added advantage to the governor, since he is now the talk of town? What is your take, Miguda?
You have asked me, how is this arrest beneficial to the people, or if at all there were corruption cases by the Trans Nzoia administration, and the government is part of it, then he should face those charges. Then we can say it is beneficial for the people of Trans Nzoia because it's their money just been misappropriated by the governor. If at all there were such allegations, if they are factual. You asked me about the matter because currently the ESCC are the people who are alleging the governor, and he who alleges must prove. So the burden of proof is with the ESCC to ensure that they prove that indeed the governor and the trans administration has such corruption case. That one is left, is still in the court, and we will deal with it when the matter will be out there for discussion. Right now, we can't delve into it. I just want to say that it also depends on who arrested Natembeya and Natembeya being arrested, because Natembeya, in his capacity, had already informed his supporters that they are coming for him, and actually they have come for him. So, to some extent, he might have gained popularity amongst his supporters in Trans Nzoia county government or Trans Nzoia county. But on the other side, the people who are maybe they are threatening him, they want him to shut up, They don't want him to critique the current administration. Maybe they have achieved that we are the people, we're the boys in town. You must understand that we got the police and everything. We can even decide your fate. So keep quiet. Because these things have happened in the history. This is the first time they're happening. People have been detained in this country. People have been assassinated in this country. People have been charged in court with false allegations in this country. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't work. But because even the people who are projecting all these things, they are referring to the history that if you do this to this governor, maybe we can try to tame him. But that one is now left for the next time. We will see whether they have achieved or not. But to some extent, I can say that they have made him more popular. There are people who never knew Governor Natembeya. Currently, when they're going through social media, through mainstream media, for the first time, some people are telling you who was Natembeya. So at least they have had him some points politically. And also, like what they have did to Rigathi Gachagua. Today, Rigathi Gachagua can address the press with confidence and addressing William Ruto like his fellow colleague. So they have made Rigathi Gachagua to be where he is today, and like where he was before the things like arrest, police coming. So it can be, maybe I can say I can't rule out that the government has failed. Maybe to them they have achieved what they wanted to achieve at this particular time. Maybe they have suspended their war with the governor in future. But what they wanted to achieve today, at least they have shown him that we are the might, we are the boss in town. You must align with our thoughts, or else we will expose you. Such things, I think, we can give it benefit of doubt to both sides.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Miguda, for giving us your take. To our guest, I'm coming back to you again. You know, in Kenya, we've been seeing quite a number of arrests. We've been seeing, people who are having a different view of how things are done within the government. We've seen people who are opposing the government. For example, they're being arrested, accusations here and there. Even the other day, Gideon Moyes, container freight station, which is linked to him, was raided by the police and Kenya Railways officials, and that led to the shutdown of its operation. And it has prompted protest from the company, of course, impacting his employees again. Almost around 600 employees were rendered jobless by that raid. Why is it that it is not only happening in Kenya? We are seeing the same in Tanzania. We are seeing the same in we are seeing the same in Uganda, and all the opposition leaders. They are in Uganda, in Tanzania. They are currently facing very serious uh, allegations. At what point are we going to get out of this mentality as the people of Africa? At what point will we get out of this mentality of, if I am in the government, if I am the president, I have to treat you badly because you're opposing me or because you have interest of joining the government or taking the position that I'm taking? We saw this in the government of Uhuru Kenyatta when President Uhuru was when Uhuru was the president. He had problems with his deputy William Samoei Ruto, and there were so many targeted arrests which we saw targeted to Ruto's close allies. And when Ruto came to power, we believed as a people, according to his promises, that things were going to change. And if you can remember, during his when he was being sworn in, he came out and said very well that under his leadership, things to do with uh, this kind of raids, disrespecting the constitution, abductions, we were not going to see them. But now it is worse. Today, Rigathi Gachagua was part and parcel of William Samoei Ruto. He is now out. And today he's also singing the same song that William Samoei, told us while he was serving as the deputy president, and he also wants to be the president and is seeking for votes all over the country. My question to you is, at what point are we going to get out of this mentality? At what point are we going to get leaders who are going to focus on delivering for the people of Kenya? Leaders who are going to, focus on ensuring that the views of the people are more respected and listened to, but not when someone comes with a different view, they attack them, they are arrested, an accusation that, they've done something which is not right. What is your take, our guest, on that?
First, I want to agree with the point that he made about regarding Gachagua and Natembeya. What's happening with them? Very similar, and this is getting them a lot of public sympathy. And if there's one thing we know about our politicians is that they're very good at seeking sympathy votes, and that's what any of them is always trying to do. Like you mentioned that when Uhuru was in power and Ruto was vying for power, something that kind of helped tilt that scale was the sympathy votes that he got, because people were looking at him and saying, "This guy is suffering. This guy, they're dragging him." So that got him some sympathy. I mean, he came to expose himself with his actions, and just the same thing that now Gachagua is going through. He's reeling in all of those sympathy votes right now, and it runs out at some point, because if you go back and look at how they were in cahoots together with Ruto and Gachagua, it just all of a sudden now he's crying that the same system, the same party, the same tool that they were using is now hurting him. Now all of a sudden it's bad, and it's only bad because he's not a part of it. If he was a beneficiary of it, he would not be crying. He would be justifying it, like he was when all that stuff started with the mandamanus and everything. He was justifying things when with all the bad things that he's also trying, supposedly exposing. Why did he not expose these things when they were going on? He could have parted ways with Ruto a lot earlier and exposed that, oh, I cannot be a party to this. This is, this is hurting Kenyans. Kenyans don't agree with this, and I represent them. So therefore, I'm not going to be a party to this. He was a party to all of it until they were disagreeing. And that's why I have no sympathy for that guy, because he was in the same thing, the same tactic he's trying to use. So for us all, number one, I see it two different ways. One, as citizens, we have to kind of take the power into our hands. And that is number one, something that we are struggling with, but we have to figure out is financially. We have to be able to finance our own lobbyings, so that way they can lobby for our interests. And then number two, we have to be united, which means we have to educate ourselves and not just be running around giving sympathy votes to this guy because he's from my tribe, or his tribe is closer to mine than the other guy. So we have to do that. And when it comes to like on a regional level, we have to take power away from these guys. Just strip them all of it. That means Samia Suluhu, that means Ruto, that means Museveni, all of them. Because the reason why they're keeping us in these small pockets is so they can cling on to power. Right now, Kenya is not even supposed to be a country anymore. At this point, it's supposed to be a state of a larger country. But guess what? It still remained a country because somebody is benefiting from that. And that person right now is Ruto. All these guys have stood and claimed that, oh, this country should have been, it should have been a part of a larger country with amongst the other East African states. You see how Suluhu is acting right now with Mata Karua and them, getting arrested and being deported and stuff like that. She's exercising that power. And if it was a slightly larger country, like if the region became into one country, they will not be doing this. because there will be way too many people to control. And that's pretty much how I see it, is that we need to pack them up and get them out of the system, and then we need to install our leaders, people that represent the people.
Okay, thank you so much for giving us your take. To our viewers, this is Brother Benson Media, and here we say that your opinion counts. If you're watching us for the first time, kindly like and subscribe to the channel. If you subscribe, it is a way of supporting us, and we'll really appreciate. Yeah, I'm coming to you again, and with this question, things have not been easy in terms of making the right choices, political choices in the Republic of Kenya. I'm quite sure that you are still in your youthful years, and as a youth, what is the role of the youth and also the learned people in the society, those who are living within and also those who are living in abroad, because the learned people play a critical role when it comes to helping the people in making the right decisions. Of course, we understand that. Of course, there's some exposure that people do get as 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 uh, as you learn or as you work or as you interact with other people, and for that reason, that comes with so many benefits. The youths, the learned people, they have that. You know they have the power to influence and to help or to assist either the old people in the society in making the right decision. Of late we saw quite a number of youths coming out to criticize all those things that they felt were not being done rightly by the government. And of course, that really sent a lot of information to the people of Kenya, and especially the old people. The old people, for example, they've been living in fear. They've not been coming out to make decisions, you know, in a way that I think they had this fear that they would be seen, and it could be that they lived during the harsh, leaders, and so they've been having this fear of coming out to criticize and also to give their opinion. The youths have actually been coming out to do this and to remind even the president and even to criticize something that we haven't seen in Africa. That means that the democracy in the Republic of Kenya, for example, is growing. My question to you is, what is the role of the youths and the learned people in helping to make the right decisions, political decisions, decisions which are going to, you know, uh, assist in running of the Republic of Kenya? You can give us your take on that, and also the continued demonstration by the people affirming the fact that the young people are coming to understand their rights, and they understand what the constitution talks about: freedom of movement, expression, and all those kind of things. Are we going to see a continued move by the Gen Zs or the millennials or the young people in the push for a better government?
I think that what needed to happen happened. We got that start, we got that jump start with everything that happened with the Mandamanos and all of that stuff. And I think that that should have been a good enough trigger for the youth to take more control in the affairs of the country. Other things that we need to address, we need to look at as the youth and address are things like, for example, look at Burkina Faso right now, some of the things that are going on. We need to partake in rebuilding the country, rebuilding communities, rebuilding the business structures. Things like even, COVID kind of did wake us up a little bit. I see a lot more youths engaging in farming and stuff like that. Those are what build economies, those build communities, and those build this networks that creates like gives a solid foundation. Like if you look at this larger economies like China, Brazil, India, they all started with farming, and that's what built their economies. But for us, we need to still decolonize our mindset. That's what I'm really trying to say here. And we need to go back to the grassroots of what built a solid economy. And that'll be the first step. The political side, I believe that follows that. Because when we're so poor, when we depend on the system so much, and to a point that we submit to the system, then you see how they just shake us up and move us around. That's what they've been doing all along. It was until the Mandamanos and when they started to realize that we can go and take over, run over the parliament and all that stuff. That's when they started to realize that we have this much power. And that's what we needed. The rest is we need the economic backing, and no one is going to give us that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for giving us your take. Uh, on the same question that I'd asked you, just still around the youths, you know, going for an elective position requires a lot of finance. It requires money. It also require, let me say finance is the biggest. And the problem that we are having in the Republic of Kenya is that we do not have a good representative of the youths. Majority of youths are not in parliament. More of those who are in parliament are people who are of age, and it could be that they are not really aware of all those things which are pressing the youths, or the things which really matters for the youths.
Well, that's
What is
where
needed
unity comes in.
is Yeah, so what is needed is we need quite a number of youths to go for these elective positions. And remember, they're going to vie for these particular positions with, the opponents are people with money. Some of them are people who are very well moneyed. They are millionaires. You saw the other day, while some of them were given the position of cabinet secretaries, some of them were saying they were billionaires. And so they have the capability of buying youths, creating chaos, buying goons, and then the mentality again in Africa or in Kenya, one that we've seen is that if a politician gives you money, then according to the thinking that we've been seeing is that is the person who can be a leader. That is the
No,
person
you
that,
see, you
once
see,
he or she gets into that office.
that's where that's where we go wrong as a young people. That's where we go wrong. It's by accepting um corruption. Once you accept corruption, then why are you crying? We have to stop crying. We need to get ourselves together. We need to organize ourselves and say that, hey, we know that this is what we need. We are going to put one of us without money against them. They can go and buy. Some of us, of course, are going to be bought, which is okay. But if we organize ourselves, like right now, Morada Kibaso is organizing. That's what he's been doing for the last couple of months. And that's all we need to do is organize. The way that he's doing it is he's leading it from the front. That requires a lot more money. But on a local level, we can organize ourselves without money. It doesn't take money. It takes talking, it takes meetups, it takes educating ourselves and coming up with a common goal. Politicians usually come and they used to drop bags or whether it was like, I don't know, like flour or sugar or whatever it was, and then just pass by and go. And then people know, okay, that's it, vote for him. And then they started organizing young people and giving them money or go do this and do that. And somehow, like idiots, we do it. We take it and we go ahead with it. One thing that I agree with that Gachagua said was that, Take their money, but don't give them the votes. When they come and give you money, take their money. Fine, take the money. We all know that we need money. Take the money. But we need to be organized to know that we have a common goal. Someone that is coming by, and if we were intelligent enough, we'd see that someone that comes by and drops off money and says, "You guys vote for me or do this and do that," we should be insulted. We should be extremely insulted by that, number one, because that goes to show you that person does not care about you. If anything, that should tell you that whatever amount of money that they handed you is what they see you as. That's your value in their eyes. To them, that's all you're worth. If they'll drop this, give people 50-50, 100-100, whatever they're giving people. That's all you're worth. They don't see you as a community. They don't see you. They don't listen. They're not coming by to listen to your issues, to properly address those issues. Because if they were, then they wouldn't have got the money ready to come and drop off to you. All it is just a drop off. So when you accept that exchange, then you also have to know that you're part of the problem. So many of us are part of the problems that we have. And the only way to change that is by educating ourselves, talking amongst each other, and then organizing ourselves and putting ourselves to lead ourselves. We've seen that these groups have been disappointing us ever since we broke away from the British. Ever since Kenya became Kenya, an independent country, or supposedly free, it's not really free, but ever since that, they've been disappointing us, and it just doesn't change. So if we don't organize ourselves, if we don't educate ourselves, and if we don't take the steps we need to forward to lead ourselves, they're going to continue doing exactly what they've been doing since we got our independence. And it's only, it's getting to a point that we can only blame ourselves because we have the tools that they didn't have before. We have social media, we have all this technology to organize ourselves. And I mean, Murak Abbas is doing it. People are sending him money. He's going around doing the education, educating that he's doing. And we can do it on smaller levels. He's doing on the larger level. We have to have leaders on all levels. But when it comes to communities and smaller communities, like even Homa Bay is a small place. Even Nairobi is not a big place. These are very small. These are micro economies. When you're looking at them countrywide, micro economies.
Okay. Okay. I get your take. Maybe you've mentioned this gentleman, Morara Kebaso, and just here the comment. This comment here. I don't know whether you can see it. Can you hear me? Okay, I think we've lost our guest. I think we've lost our guest, and maybe as I wait for him, there's some comments. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes, I was saying that I don't know whether you can see the comment on the screen. Morara is a sellout, and this brings me to this question. We have trust issues in the Republic of Kenya,
Mm-hmm.
and trust towards leaders. It's no longer something that is really there. And this has been brought about by the behaviors of the political class. Some of them, before they get into these positions, they are nice people, they reason, they think. But
Mm-hmm.
when once they get into this position, they tend to forget every agenda that they told the people of Kenya. And there's some greed that gets into them, and then they totally forget about their role and what is expected of them. And being that you've mentioned Morara, there's also Kasamuel. These are young youthful men who are part of, part of those people, that group that spearheaded the demonstration, the so-called Gen Z demonstration that was held last year. And Morara has been praised by so many people on his, diaries that he has been exposing about, the stalled projects. And, if you actually go deeper to do some investigation, you'll realize that, part of what he's been exposing is purely true. And, he's had his issues with the people of Kenya. And there's a number of people who believe that he's not genuine. Not just him, but also the young
But
gentleman.
this is some of the same people that voted for Ruto, knowing what Ruto has done, his track record. Like this guy, something the car doctor, Yusuf the car doctor, Morocco Cabasso, whatever. Who else do you have that's a better candidate? And please don't tell me that it's gonna be one of these old heads that you are gonna recycle. All of them have been there in those seats, recycling themselves for like 30 years. 15, 20, 15, 25, 30 years. And let me tell you why, at least taking a chance, why we need fresh blood is good. Because they will not be so intertwined with the system. It'll be easy to uproot them out of the system. If they act up, like even Samuel McCoy, I didn't agree with some of the things, some of his movements, but I'd rather go with him. Because if he's someone that gets into a position and acts up, we know that he's easy to uproot. He doesn't have guys that he's been stealing with for the last 15 years that know that if this guy goes down, then I'm going to be next. So I have to protect him, even though I know what he's doing is wrong. That's what some of us, like this car guy, this car doctor, Yusuf, I think that don't see or don't think about. That everybody else that are in government and have been for the last 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40 years, but have done nothing, you're not getting rid of them. You selecting another one to lead is just shuffling them. And it's us that have been shuffling them. For example, if we wanted Ruto gone even next month, we could get Ruto out of there. It almost happened. So that's what I see. Otherwise, me, myself, I'm fine. No matter who's in power, I'm fine. I'm fine, and I know my family is fine. But I do care about the state of the Kenyan people. And if they don't care about it themselves, or if not enough people care about it, then hey, things are just going to remain the same. We're going to be recycling these faces. Maybe it won't be Ruto. Maybe somebody else will come in, and then Ruto, in 2032 or whatever, and then somebody else. But it's all the same group of people. The system has to be overhauled, and that is by bringing in nothing but fresh blood. Some of these people that are, like maybe not so old, in their 30s and such, the younger side of them, they're there because of the older ones. So even them, they're pretty much, they're having them stay is a huge risk. We need fresh blood in Kenyan politics. We need to overhaul the system. All of them need to go. Gachagua, Ruto, Raila, all of them need to go home. Kalonzo, all of them need to go home. Wetangula, all this otherness, they all need to go home. That's the only way that we're going to have hope. I guarantee you, if we let Ruto get away with it, with staying in power, or if we select one of these, another one of them, nothing will change. They'll be playing the same tricks for the next 10 years. I mean, this guy, he came into office, and within like 6 months, he's already preparing for the next election. Why would you think that that guy is there to, do anything for anybody? He's setting himself up and his people and trying to resolve their issues, not our issues, and trying to set himself up for the long haul. We've watched this for the last. I'm 30 years old. Well, I've seen this since I was like 12. I've been watching the same thing happen over and over and over and over and over and over. I mean, we're learning, but we gotta learn a lot more, a lot faster. If we don't, this 5 years was gone. If we don't, then the next is gone too. If we haven't learned anything, then now we're looking after 2032. And a lot of people are suffering. I don't know how they manage to just wait that long and say, okay, maybe there's hope after 2032. But you do that, it's your life. Every single vote counts. We gotta be educated, and we don't have to like these people. Moraro Cabasso, I don't know that guy. And personally, there's nothing that I know to like about him personally. All I'm seeing is change. He can be a tool for us to use to change the system, or at least begin to change the system. But if you're calling him and Samuel McCord, all of this guy, who are you going to elect? One of these older people? They'll be doing the same thing. It's the poor people that suffer at the bottom, but it is them that also fight for these people. I mean, they're dying for these people to stay in these positions. They're dying for this, and these people are rich. They don't need those positions. They're there for power and the money. So if we don't change, if poor people don't change, then things will stay the same. I mean, look at Tanzania. Look at when Magufuli came in. You saw how they were transforming the country, how fast. Look even in Burkina Faso. You see how fast they're transforming the countries. So hey, the problem is us, because the leadership is a reflection of the people. So the way we are mentally, our political, it just shows everything that it's in our minds. In some ways we've learned and we're changing, yes, but I hope that it's a lot better than what I'm actually seeing. Like this car, Yusuf the car doctor. I hope that a lot of people are not like you, because if they are, then we're in trouble. And not me personally, but many Kenyans are in trouble.
Okay,
Why
thank
even
you.
do that? Why? Okay, I see here he's saying if poor people don't change, they'll go for the rich, and for sure the tail is gonna wag the dog. Why do we even have to do that? Why not just remove them? That's not a fight that needs to be fought. Just remove them. Just don't vote for them. Vote in fresh people, and that's it. They're done.
Okay, thank you. Allow me to read some few comments here. Laban Misiani is saying that people are stealing and you're discussing development. And speaking of Traore, Kenya needs a Muslim president, period. Okay. Don't call them Gen Z, call them they didn't vote, and the one who did say that Pangwingwi, the term Gen Z sounds. Okay. Mubarak stepped down during the 2011 Egyptian revolution after 18 days of demonstration, transferring power to the Supreme Council of Armed Forces. Who can remember this? Okay.
What is that guy? Why do we need a Muslim leader? It doesn't matter whether they're an atheist, a Muslim, a Christian. We need good leaders. Magufuli was a hell of a leader. Christian. There are some good Muslim leaders. He's Muslim. One of the biggest thieves in Kenya. And then right now they put him in charge of the minerals. One of the biggest thieves is a Muslim in Kenya. It doesn't matter what your background is. It doesn't matter what tribe. It doesn't matter what religion. That's not how you choose a leader. Not on basis of tribe or religion. A good leader is a good leader. Muammar Gaddafi was a Muslim. Thomas Sankara was not.
Okay, okay. Maybe my last question to you, and then maybe you can give us your last remarks or anything else that you want to give your view on. I would like to just ask you this final question on, of course, leadership still. We're in a situation where we are currently being led by the president, William Samoei Arap Ruto, and we've seen a consistency where, for example, if I tell you about the president started his politics in 19. He was first a member of parliament in 19. I don't know what, and he's been consistent. He's been in politics ever since, and politics is like the only work that he's been doing. And what we've seen is, apart from him being the president, we also have from the deputy president to all these other people, the ones you mentioned, Kalonzo, Laila, Batiangi, and all these people who have shown interest in presidency. Currently, they are working together. The political class, they are currently together, and they also understand one thing, that the union of young people is a threat to them. And one of the reasons why they think so is because majority of them have amassed wealth in a way that is not uh, in a legal way. And so I'm quite sure that they have this fear of once someone who is an outsider comes in, then there's a possibility of them, being questioned on how they acquired their wealth and so forth. And for that
Let
reason,
me
we've
let
seen
me
even.
let me tell you. Let me interrupt you a little bit. Their wealth is not the problem. Nobody cares how rich one can be. It doesn't matter. Their issue is that they're not patriots. They don't care about the people, and therefore they don't care about the country. Otherwise, they will not be draining it dry. These people are not. They're not idiots. They're very well educated. They're very experienced. And let me tell you something. To steal the amount of wealth that they've been bleeding the country off, it takes genius. It's not very simple to steal money from the Kenyan government in the amounts that they have been stealing them. This looting that they got is a very sophisticated system. So it's not about them having the wealth. No one really, I don't see anything wrong with having wealth. What I see is that they're not patriots. And even after they take the money, after they amass the wealth, they don't circulate that money or reinvest it in Kenya. They move it abroad outside of Kenya. The only time that they have it moving around in Kenya is to do dirty work or to continue to trick the public or mislead the public. That's the only time. Or to fight each other with it. Aside from that, they go and they buy houses in other countries. You see that they own some of the largest properties. Their real estate portfolios are crazy abroad. When you look at the UAE, when you look at you go to London, even over here in the United States, in Australia, in Georgia, in a lot of different places all over the world, when the Panama Papers came out, it's our own politicians that were topping the list. Kenya, that is a Mickey Mouse economy. Our politicians are towards the top of the list of the Panama Papers when it comes to the amount of money. They're not even they're not pictures. That's the biggest issue. So yeah, not so much about the wealth, but sort of cut you off.
Okay, yeah. So I was just asking you on, we've seen them also trying to protect each other. Let me use this word dynasty because it has been used before. We
It's
are
true.
seeing a union of dynasties coming together, trying to block new blood, political blood, from coming on the limelight. And, they have the system. That is one thing that we can accept. But again, of course, we understand the constitution. The constitution of the Republic of Kenya says very well that the power belongs to the people. Do you think it would be easy for the political class, the dynasties, to let it go that easily?
No, but listen, when you cut off, when a thief breaks their leg, as much as they see opportunity to continue stealing, they can't. The tools that they use, and the tools that they use is us. Because it's us that support them. It's us that defend them. It's us that go out and protect them. So it's not a matter of them having a choice. We give them the choice. If we take away the choice, they're done. That's it. All we have to do is take away the choice, is to vote in the right people. And this starts from a local level. Something that I see amongst us Africans is that we only look at the top and we ignore all the people in between. In truth, it's not Ruto himself that's stealing the money. It is the people, his handsmen, that are doing all the dirty work. And he knows and he does not address it. That's where he's guilty. And also he has, his family members, his friends, and his people that he owes favors. People like Murkomen, he has running around with bags of cash and doing this and just running crazy. All we have to do is take away that option. When they don't have an option, that's it. They can't steal anymore. If you secure your wealth, a thief doesn't have an option. It's not that they'll have to choose to not steal, they just won't be able to steal. And yeah, Yusuf is right. Power is taken, it's not given. So if we take away the power from them, then that's it, they're done. But with all that said, I gotta run, and thank you for having me on. But that's what I
Okay.
think is that we gotta do better, and we started, and let's just we just can't lose the steam, because if we lose the steam, then we're done.
Okay, I also want to take this opportunity to just say a big thank you for, you found time and you joined us. And I request you that anytime you have time, if you have time, you can always just pass by and also give us your take.
Yes, sir.
More of what we do here is just a conversation on how we can, they're all geared to the betterment of our country. And, here we say that your opinion counts. And maybe if you've not subscribed, you can subscribe so that whenever we have the conversations, you'll be notified. Thank you so much, brother, for coming over. Tumeshukuru sana.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm subscribed. I always pass by, and when I have time, it aligns, then I'll pass by. And likewise, on my page, I do talk a little bit about some of the stuff that's going on too. So check me out there too. And until next time, I'll see you guys.
Okay, maybe what is the name of that? The
The name of
platform.
my channel is just the same True 37.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
just
thank
like
you.
that. Put in the chat.
Okay, okay, thank you so much for coming over. We appreciate
All right, thank you.
so much. Asante sana.
All right,
Yeah,
brother.
so
Yeah.
thank you. To our viewers, this is Brother Benson Media, and here we say that your opinion counts. If you're watching us for the first time, kindly just subscribe to the channel. It is a way of supporting us, and we will appreciate. And I want to say a big thank you for everyone who has been with us. Yusuf, the car doctor, thank you so much. Um, Joy Chankis, thank you so much for finding time to be with us this evening. Gypsy Corner, thank you so much for also being with us up to this time. Annie, thank you so much, Annie, for being with us. Mytek, thank you so much for also finding time to be with us. Laban Misiani, asante sana. Brother Gitonga, thank you so much. Brenda Ubedi, thank you so much. Lucy Cornell, asante sana for coming over. There's political buffs, asante sana. Thank you so much. And Naked Truth TV official. Also, we appreciate, we appreciate the fact that you came to give us your take, and also to Brenda Obedi. Thank you so much. Tunashukuru sana. Yusuf anasema salimia watu wangu wa Siaya sana, nitarudi Kasongo akitoka. Okay, thank you so much Yusuf for your comment. I want to take this opportunity to really appreciate each and everyone who joined us this evening, and to wish you all well as we now close. I want to remind you again to just subscribe and tell a friend to tell a friend so that we may grow as a family. I'll take this opportunity now to wish you all a blessed night, a blessed morning, a blessed afternoon, a blessed evening from anywhere that you're watching us. We really appreciate. Thank you so much. And may God bless you. See you again tomorrow. Bye bye for now.